Hi, I'm filming today for week 6 discussion. I chose to do prompt 2, which was, if pressed to select one enduring legacy of World War II, would you look to the American home front, abroad, to Europe, to Japan, or to the dawn of nuclear age? And then to discuss why it makes an enduring legacy. And for this prompt, I chose to talk about the nuclear age, and just because it was such a big deal, and it still is today, and all of those other topics really did shape America and shaped the country and the world as a whole. But the nuclear age and that development, I feel like, just like amped up the seriousness of what a war could mean, and to all countries and leaders around the world. And I just think that it was had a very profound impact, and that we still see it today. And so when we bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it did help bring World War II to a close. But it also kind of had nations and countries and leaders thinking about this big power that we had, to now we could potentially end all life on Earth, and we could drop a bomb and it could just obliterate an entire country, a continent, and just that someone had that power, it just kind of highlighted the seriousness of this new type of warfare, versus just soldier versus soldier or plane versus plane. You now have this end-all destructor bomb that could just obliterate everything. And so that really, I feel like, impacted foreign relations and countries' desire to avoid war at a lot of costs, and especially how we see in the next units, like the Cold War and the race for arms, and how much effort and expense the United States put into research, scientific research around nuclear weapons and just weapons in general, I think had a big impact on our nation as a whole. And I think that we also see this in the way that nations nowadays think about security, and the fact that we had all of these tanks and planes and aircraft and ships that we had so much money invested into, and that was kind of our go-to war strategy. And now we have this nuclear weapon that can just destroy them all. And I think this also goes back to how much effort and expense governments are putting into the research and education intelligence to be that global superpower and to have those nuclear weapons available. I also think that this had an enduring impact on the culture and society of the world, and especially the United States. From the point of when we dropped that bomb to now, we see a lot of movies and just like media and a lot of books being written just about having the power of the atomic bomb, and essentially the humans have the power to just destroy all of us, all of ourselves. And so I just think that it has a lot to do, the nuclear age had a lot to do with global relations, just the influence on global security, how diplomacy works between nations, obviously all trying to not go to war because we have this outcome that could be so terrible, and then how much governments valued science and the development of these weapons. And I just think that it really was a turning point in our nation and our country and our world about how we view war relating to the atomic bomb. Thank you.